Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Supervisor McGlasser.
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell. Present. Councilman Tempori.
Here.
Councilman Ruthven.
Here.
Councilman Boyd.
Here.
All present.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We're going to move some things around in the agenda tonight. So our first item is the library budget. I know it's 6:59. Do you want to come up and discuss the library? Oh, sorry, everyone can come up. Okay, good. Casey needs it.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mike Mahoney. I'm a trustee for the Kent Public Library. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Ava Rogers, and I'm the president of the library board.
I am Jessica McMath, and I am VP of the Kent Public Library Board.
It was 6 years ago that we had our first budget vote for a public vote for our library. It was after 10 years of having the same amount, so with no increase, virtually the same amount. We felt at that time that it was necessary in order to continue to run the library in the way that it should be run, a library that serves the people of the town of Kent and that the people have supported through their taxes for years, for over 50 years. So we, in the last 6 years, our expenses have gone up, but our income has stayed virtually the same. So we felt that now is the time to ask the public to vote for an increase in order to maintain the quality of our library. I'll give you a few examples of things that the library has done in the past year. For example, we had 70,000 visitors. That's 236 visitors a day. We have a little door counter, so we do that, and we divide the number in half because they leave too. We offered 1,000 programs. This is in 2024. Our website had 72,000 visitors. We had 50,000 books and audiovisual items borrowed, 21,000 digital downloads, 214 new patrons. I could go on, but I wanted to show you that people in this community use our library, and we think it's a wonderful place, and I think they think that also. So this year, we submitted our petitions to the board. Our request is that the board just pass them on, instruct the town clerk to pass them to the Putnam County Board of Elections, and the public will get to vote in November. The increase to the library, we went to our treasurer, Otto Romanino, went to the town assessor and found that the average value of a home for tax purposes is $465,000. We divided our increase into it, and it comes out to be $18 per household per year. So that's the increase that we're asking for from the public. Anybody else?
I think that's pretty fair.
What's the total dollar amount when that comes out to?
The total dollar amount is,
$81,809.
is it on, it's on the resolution?
$81,809.
Right. That's correct.
That's
the
the
increase.
increase. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what you wanted, the increase, correct?
Yes.
And theoretically, $18, so I can come to the library, and I can get passes for the Museum of Natural History, and I can go take my kids to the museum, and that would cost much more than the $18, and you've made up the money, so.
Yes.
Everyone just go visit the museum once a year, and you'll get your money's worth.
It's
Less than a book.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably about half the price of a new hardback book. So, and we would encourage people to do exactly what you described. Come, We have 18 museum passes that we are lending, thanks to our friends, actually, the Friends of the Kent Library.
And not to mention children's programs that like help educate your kids. That are fantastic as well.
But just to be clear, the $18 is an increase, is the increase.
Right, I'm sorry, no, I just meant,
And that's not technically per
118.
household, that's an average per household.
That's
depending on
correct.
your
Average per
assessment.
household,
Depends
yours
on
may
your
be-
assessment.
It could be less.
Correct,
Could be
yours may
less,
be
it could
higher or
more,
lower.
Depending on what the value of your house is.
Right. Well, we wanted to have something that you could sort
Right, of course.
of relate to.
Makes sense. I have absolutely no issue with this whatsoever. I do remember that when we originally voted for you to start going to a public referendum, I did have a little bit of an issue then, because I knew that once that happened, it's always a vote from that point on. Am I saying that right?
That's
There's never
correct.
any
Any-
going back to us just deciding what your budget is. It has to be a public vote from this point, that point, then moving forward.
For any increase.
Forever, any increase to your,
Correct.
your
That's
library
correct.
budget. So this is really your only option to increase your budget, is to do exactly what you're doing at this point in time.
That's correct.
Okay. So, I'm good with it.
Oh, yeah.
and they
absolutely.
got the signatures that they actually got almost double the signatures that you needed, I believe, correct?
That's correct.
So, is there any public comment?
We wouldn't have to do this. Mr. Boyd walked into the room, he'll just he'll pull his wallet out and give it to you tonight.
Anyway, there goes my carrot case.
Does someone?
No, I think it's a great way to, the public gets to choose, and that's really what it's all about at this point. Good.
All right, do you want to read it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
I make a motion to pass I make a motion for the proposition for a resolution for the proposition to increase the town budget appropriation for the Kent Library. Whereas Education Law, Section 259 provides that where a petition endorsed by the Board of Trustees of the library is signed by 25 or more qualified voters of the town of Kent with the question of increasing the amount of funding or the annual contribution for the operating budget of a library, such question shall be voted on at the next general election. And whereas the town board of the town of Kent is in receipt of a petition signed by 49 individuals, as well as a resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Kent Public Library dated May 20th, 2025, endorsing such petition, requesting that the following proposition be placed on the ballot and voted on at the next general election of the town of Kent. Shall the annual contribution of the town of Kent for the operating budget of the Kent Public Library be increased by $81,809 to the sum of $648,495 annually? Whereas Ms. Capelli has reviewed the petitions and advises that it's changed on here, but handwriting, to 47 signatures are by qualified voters of the town of Kent, exceeding the 25 signature requirement, and whereas town law section 81 directs that upon receipt of a petition, the town board shall submit the proposition for inclusion on the ballot to be voted on at the next general election. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby submits the following proposition to be placed on the ballot and voted on at the next general election of the town of Kent. Shall the annual contribution of the town of Kent for the operating budget of the Kent Public Library be increased by $81,809 to the sum of $648,495 annually? Be it further resolved, the town clerk is hereby directed to file the proposition with the Putnam County Board of Elections and publish notice of same. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we do roll call?
Oh, yep.
Okay. Councilwoman Campbell?
Aye.
Councilman Tempori?
Aye.
Councilman Ruthven?
Aye.
Councilman Boyd?
Aye.
Supervisor McGlasson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
There you
you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
Good night.
Good night.
You might not want to leave, though. It sounds like it's pouring outside. You might be stuck in here with us. I just heard it. I thought it was the air conditioning, but it was the rain. Maybe it slowed down now. Okay. Now let's go back up to the top of the meeting. We are doing a consultant selection for the drinking water grant. Sean, do you want to take this item?
Oh, sure, let's see. Well, we can talk about it. So we
Yep.
received the grant for about, was it 700,000?
680?
Was it 680?
680? Maybe
Is that what's in here?
Okay. I
not
don't
written.
have the,
It's not filled out.
okay.
Yeah, I thought it was about 700,000. Either way, it's for the two water districts, District 1, District 2, for water contamination in there, so we get to do improvements on the water system. So we have decided which engineering firm to pick. So through a majority of the board, picking one of 3 engineering companies that put in RFQs for requests for qualifications, and so we picked one of them. So are we having a resolution on who we're picking here? Is it?
Yep.
I don't see that in
So
here.
turn your first page over.
Oh, there we go. Again, I'll just put on my glasses would help. So, make a motion for a resolution to accept proposals for engineering services for the water system improvements. Whereas, in connection with a grant for water system improvements for Kent Water Districts 1 and 2, the town board duly advertises for proposals from engineer firm to receive 3 proposals in response, copies of which are annexed hereto and hereby incorporated. And whereas the proposals have been reviewed by the town and
Name
board
it.
members.
No, name the company.
Proposals have been reviewed by the town and, so we're putting the one that we selected?
Yes.
So Barton and LaJudas has submitted the proposal that meets the town's requirements, I see as we read through it. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board wishes to accept the proposal of Barton and LaJudas consistent with the terms of the proposal, and be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The grant award was actually $702,800.
We both were wrong. 702.
Yeah, I thought 700,000.
Good grant.
That was a good grant.
Yeah, that's just one of 2 halves.
Yes.
So we're going to apply for the other half.
Okay. Moving along, our Director of Finance, Christina Cahill, is asking us to hire a temporary intern, who will work between 10 to 15 hours a week at $16 per hour. She would work, it says through August 31st, but she's in college, so she will not be here that long, but she'll probably be here about 6 to 7 weeks. We do have budgeted for an intern in that office, and this will not even come close to what we budgeted, so.
Okay. Good.
Any comments? Everyone's good?
Make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the hiring of an intern for the Finance Department. Whereas the Town of Kent Town Board is in receipt of a request dated June 26, 2025 from Christina Cahill, Director of Finance, requesting to hire Ava Nix as intern for the Finance Department, and whereas the Town Board wishes to accept Ms. Cahill's request and hire Ava Nix as intern for the Town Finance Department. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board authorizes the hiring of Ava Nix as intern for the Finance Department for 10 to 15 hours per week at the rate of $16 per hour through August 31st, 2025, subject to completion of all necessary background checks, and be it further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also from our Director of Finance, the current company that we use as an investment company, NILAF, is merging with NICLAS, and we just need to sign the agreement that we that we are accepting that the 2 companies are merging and that our investments will still be there.
That sounds like a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
NILAF and
I
NICLAS.
don't see the NILAF, I see the NIC class.
Yep. Oh, it's
Oh.
NILAF and
NILAF,
NICLAS.
I misheard you, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I make a motion to pass a resolution to accept municipal corporation, or cooperation resolution. Whereas New York General Municipal Law, Article 5-G, Section 119-0 empowers municipal corporations defined in Article 5-G, Section 119-N to include towns to enter into, amend, cancel, and terminate agreements for the performance among themselves or one of the other of their respective functions, powers, and duties on a cooperative or contract basis, and whereas the town of Kent wishes to invest positions of its available investment funds in cooperation with other corporations and/or districts pursuant to the NICLAS Municipal Corporation cooperation agreement amended and restated as of August 1st, 2023, and whereas the town of Kent wishes to satisfy the safety and liquidity needs of the funds, now therefore be resolved that Jamie McGlasson, Town Supervisor of the Town of Kent, is hereby authorized to participate in the NICLAS program under the terms of the NICLAS Municipal Cooperation Agreement amended and restated as of August 1st, 2023. I make this motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Is that the rain? Did you
Yeah,
hear
that's
that?
right.
Oh, boy. Go real slow till it gets over. We
I
don't want
know.
to leave.
Yeah, it's pouring out there, wow. Okay. Next item is a grant update. Ann, do you want to take this one? And I think we're also going to have grants on the next meeting.
I'm sorry, which one are you talking about here?
I have an update, so I don't know if,
Oh.
I know we're adding
Oh,
items
just a
to
grant
the
update.
following meeting.
Yeah, so
Two.
I can just mention a few things that we're starting to work on in passing. We're coming up on the consolidated funding application deadline at the end of this month. And so one of the things that's on the top of our list is to go back to the DEC WQIP, Water Quality Improvement Program, to try to get additional funding for the repair of the Lake Carmel Dam as a Phase 2 for the project. We have $2.5 million so far from WQIP. We're still waiting to hear about congressional appropriations. We have 2 applications in for that, prior and current year. No word on those. But we have been told we can go back to WQIP with a second phase, so we're working on that. We also are likely going to reapply for a smart growth planning grant. We do need to update the Kent Comprehensive Plan. This would be a way to fund that. There's an MS4 type environmental opportunity that we're starting to look into. We're also starting to look into, through the Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, an opportunity called BRICS, which is to fund community centers. The intent is to have funding for a community center that really focuses on services to seniors and children. And so we're thinking that with what we're working on for the Town Hall Annex, the old Town Hall building, which is going to have a food pantry, recreation, historian's office, and so forth, that that might line up with the intent of that opportunity and would be a way to get some additional funding to get that project completed. So those are some of the things we're starting to talk about, along with going back for, Councilwoman Boyd mentioned that we had gotten half of what we were looking for with the WIA grant. Then we got the PFAS component, but not the Water District infrastructure component. So we'll likely reapply for that as well. So lots of applications, and we should have some resolutions for all of this at the next meeting in time for the end of July deadline for most of these. Thanks.
Any public comment?
And you mentioned community centers. What about the Lake Carmel Community Center?
If the community wanted to think about launching a low-cost daycare, senior care, or something like that in the center.
Well, the seniors were always allowed to meet there.
Yeah,
But we
that's-
could also allow, like a senior resource person to maybe have like a spot in there weekly, and then it would suffice
Right,
as
so
well
we
to
could look at
have.
that as well.
But that's,
Like-
I'm saying there's, I mean, you seem to skip over Lake Carmel's, community center, because it's the first time that they're allowing money to go to community centers. Before, they would never allow it to be used for that.
The priority is new centers, and we did discuss it in our grants meeting. I guess the question we had at the time was whether the focus of that facility is, community-based enough to qualify for the
There's
BRICS.
6,800 families there.
Yeah, I can send you the prospectus, and you can think about if there's a way to frame it, and we could apply for one or the other or both, so I'd be happy to
But
send
I
you
feel
that
like Lake Carmel
prospectus.
residents would probably be okay if we said you have to allow someone in here on Mondays. I'm making
They
that-
always had a senior
Right, no, but
center.
if they allowed someone in there, a
Right.
resource person, and they
Right.
said on
I don't
Mondays you
think that
have
would
to
be a
let
big
them.
deal. I
Because it
don't-
wouldn't be when anyone's gonna use it. The majority of the people using the building, it's gonna be on the weekends or at night.
Right, but I don't think anybody would object to
No,
that, because
especially if you're gonna get money to have.
you do have a lot of seniors around here. I mean, you need it, so. I'm just saying, you know, you don't have a resource down here at this building down here. You can't even hold the seniors down here. There's not enough room, so.
The components that are planned to go into that building meet the criteria right now. We did discuss Lake Carmel. It just doesn't, you'd have to do some wording on how you write that grant. What Lake Carmel's traditionally been used for, other than the seniors having a meeting there. It's not like a public outreach type of programs that were going on down there, which with recreation and the other things that were planned, the food pantry, that is more of the public outreach type of stuff that fits into the way the grant was worded. But I just think it's all wording. It's just how you want.
But I thought the
word
grant
it.
people don't, they do
And,
wording?
and you would have to, we'd have to go back through the Lake Carmel, before we discuss this, I think here and make a decision, we'd have to go back to the Lake Carmel people and say, you know, is this something you'd be willing to accept to have there, instead of us just deciding that.
Well, those are
outright.
9 people, but I think if you brought it out there, I mean,
in my opinion, I think it'd be silly for them to say,
No,
no,
I know,
we
without a
don't,
doubt,
we don't want
but-
the money.
and
we
you just
won't."
had that, you have a deadline of,
I don't want to assume anything until
No,
we
I
talk to
understand,
them.
but I just think that,
but you have a deadline also.
was
This
that,
one's August 15th,
yes.
Okay, but
so
also,
there is a little more time.
and do the grant people come up with the wording for that?
Well, they
They write
sent,
narratives based on information we provide, and then we also review
Well,
and
if you s-
edit.
and we
Yeah,
okay it,
well,
so
if you
we,
s-
we have our
If
input
you
as
said,
well.
you know, come up with some kind of wording that you think that the people in the Park District would go for, I'm sure they can, you know, they can use their chat, GPT. All right?
Okay. All right, are we good to move on? Okay, our next item is to update our fee schedule. I don't have the, can I just see this for 1 second?
Sure.
We need to adopt an established schedule of fees, so we're adding tonight a sewer district hookup of $50, an application fee for additional flow of $100, commercial additions, we're adding that for the building department for $210 per
Square foot.
square foot, okay. And then we're also adding, we want to raise our fees that we get for films, because there's been a lot more films being produced in the area. Lana actually went to a seminar on that. Well, you weren't there for that, but you
There was like a meeting with other town clerk, Putnam Valley supervisor was there and some other towns and somebody in the film business. I saw it on the agenda and I didn't see nobody asked for what other town, did you do research to see what other towns were?
Jamie did, and I forwarded it, but that was just yesterday, so I don't know if you've had a chance to look at
So
it.
just as reference, the legislature for the county lands, we passed $500 a day this past January.
but we don't charge per day, we charge for the permit, correct?
One for
We
a
don't
permit.
issue a permit, we charge a rental fee per day.
So that's at least consistent with Pup Valley. Their pavilion rental is $500 a day, their parking, they do parking rates, other facilities, and they did have other fees. I don't know why I didn't come home with it, so I'm not sure.
For reference, Lana, just let everyone know, what is our current fee for film permits?
$50.
Oh,
So, and we have, more recently, we've been getting more and more,
So I think once before they asked to use Hughes's Park to park vehicles, we can charge them to, and you don't really have to put that in a fee schedule, but you should know like what it is.
when they ask, we can say, well,
Right.
this is what we expect. So I think we should do a $500 for the filming permits.
Okay.
Putnam Valley charges $2,000 for the first day and $750 for each additional day.
Wow.
Carmel has.
Pup Valley also had a Netflix show
Oh, yeah.
filmed in their town, so.
Seasons, she said.
Yes, it was a good show.
It was a good
I
show,
watched
yeah.
it.
That's what's confused with the filming is. Who's filming?
Oh, like if, Netflix.
studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want it, yeah. It's getting bigger
We've
and
got a
bigger
lot of
every
like
year.
small,
We had small ones.
People
like
coming in,
maybe
but-
3, but.
You know, sometimes they need the local police force to be out on
Yes.
the roads and stuff. On 301, they've done some filming before.
but we also have lieutenants going to go out with the drone and take some pictures of the town, good angles that we can put up and
Yeah, they
make
would like us to
ourselves a little
have
more
like a
appealing
little
for future
library of
films.
areas that would interest them, because when they're looking for a place, if we have something available, they'll look at
Yes.
it, and they'll say, oh, this looks like we could use it, you know.
So we're gonna get the drone out and take
Yeah.
some pictures.
I have a couple more. So
Okay.
the Village of Cold Spring.
Add this.
For a casting crew, so there's an application processing fee of $100. And then after that, if the casting crew is 5 people or fewer, it's $350 a day and $100 for each subsequent day. For a cast and crew of 6 to 15 people, it's $1,000 for the first day and $750 for each subsequent day. And if it's more than 15 people on the cast and crew, it's $1,500 for the first day and $1,000 for each subsequent shoot day. And then for permits on private property are different. It's $500 for the first day and $350 for each subsequent shoot day. And then there's an application expedition fee of $300. I know, remember, the town of Bedford also requires for film permits that you have like a police presence, and they charge the salary, the wages
Right.
for the
Yeah.
policemen. So I don't know, maybe this requires a little bit more research and feedback for you guys, and you're not
Okay,
ready
so
to
why
do
don't
the
we
film
add,
thing today.
so why don't we vote on the other fees, and then at the next meeting, we'll do the fee schedule
Well-
for the films?
I disagree. I think for right now, let's leave the 500 in, and
For
then
the
we got
film.
something
Okay.
in there until we get something else
Okay.
ready to change it to.
Yeah,
Instead
that's
of having
fine.
50, let's go
We'll
right
keep
to the
looking into it,
500.
and then we can update
Because
it
I think
again.
500 is a fair amount.
Applied right now, but he hasn't submitted his fee.
Good, vote on it now, so we,
All right,
And
so
just reread the sewer hookup.
$1,000.
sewer hookup is 50 and additional fee, application fee for additional flow is 100.
And is it per, get rate on a per
I have no
gallon?
idea. Can I tell you what
No,
it
it's,
says on here?
it's not per gallon, it's just if you're,
Just to process, to consider an
It's a-
application for additional gallons.
Okay.
There
So
would be a
it's
fee
an
now.
It's
application
an
fee.
application fee.
It's not about
It's
gallons,
not
what you're
charge- a
asking
charging
for,
fee.
it's
It's an
just.
application.
So just to ask Kathy, would you stand up here just for a second, if you don't mind, Kathy?
I don't think she minds coming to the podium.
So we're putting on here an application, may I? Would you like to see it? Because I know some
Why don't you give her yours? Why are you taking mine?
Yeah,
yours has extra writing.
I have it.
No, it's.
We didn't change anything with what you're talking to her about, though.
No?
No, I added the commercial,
here.
Okay.
Nancy added some of it, and I just put a couple more notes on there.
I think those are fair.
Yeah, it's a start.
So part of the scheduling fee was for properties that currently are in the district but don't use the sewer plant because they're vacant lots.
Correct.
And part of the fee is that for when those vacant lots want to be online, basically it's like a back pay that we're referring
Yes.
to, correct?
A special assessment fee.
Yes. Now, is that part of this fee?
It's an
That-
application
That's what that
fee
is.
To get to that point, so,
to fill out the application and
To
submit
fill
it.
out the application, it's the $100.
okay,
Then, depending on how many gallons they want, it's $50 a gallon.
okay.
That adds
So are we adding that part in? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Sure.
$50 a gallon?
$50 a
Is
gallon.
that in the code?
That was what it was that we had written in there. So if your allotment is $10 or 10 gallons per day,
What? It's not right.
That came out of the code, and we need to put it in the fee
The problem was we took it out, and now we
Yeah,
need to
that's-
put
We
it
need to
back
add that
in.
into the fee
yeah,
schedule.
because it's a large amount of money
this
at
to
the end of
her.
the day. So basically,
She's gonna add it in. She's writing it in for me right now.
So it's application fee.
What do you think is wrong with it?
Okay, and then this is
Oh, no, for the
increased
sewer.
allocation, $50 per gallon.
Okay. No, for the film, we'll do this now, and then we'll adjust, but for the time being, if we can make money on that one.
It's really coming down on
I
it,
know, I kept,
yeah.
no one has to water their plants tonight.
right?
Plants might be washed away by this. It can rain all at once now, as long as it doesn't rain on Saturday.
Right, okay, yeah, thank you.
Would you like to take a moment and explain what that is, Kathy?
The gallons,
What we just wrote in on there?
so if you had 400 gallons on a vacant parcel, you would have to pay $20,000 to come into the sewer district.
Right, so your gallon per day, that was your allotment.
And so then you pay the 20,000, and then you would go into the sewer district. I think you only have like 2 years to, once it's approved, you know, you have 2 years to build it. And then you would pay, what the rest of the people pay is meter, you know, it's metered and the usage that you're using. So that's just to get in it, and that's a special assessment fee, because for 12 years, you haven't paid anything.
That's the buy-in, because
It's
everybody
the
else
buy-in,
bought into that
correct.
when it was originally set up, and they had been
Correct.
paying, and they weren't, even though they were sitting in the sewer district.
Right.
Okay.
All right, thank
Are we
you.
good?
Okay?
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion for amending the fee schedule for the sewer district and filming permits and certain commercial building permits. Whereas pursuant to Chapter 36 of the Town of Kent Town Code, the town board may adopt and establish a schedule of fees by resolution, whereas the town board wishes to amend the fee schedule regarding certain commercial building permits, the sewer district hookup fee, increased sewer district flow and film permit fee, and add a new fee for that's in there, and add a new fee for applications for additional flow in the sewer district as follows. Commercial additions, $210 per square foot. Sewer district hookup, $50. Application fee additional flow, $100. Filming permits, $500. And increased sewer district flow, $50 per gallon. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the fee schedule is amended as follows and shall be posted in the office of the town clerk. Commercial additions, $210. Sewer district hookup, $50. Application fee for additional flow, $100. Filming permits, $500. And increased sewer district flow, $50 per gallon. Be it further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to take all necessary action to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor? On June 26th, the planning board is, sent us a letter asking us to approve an erosion control bond in the amount of $19,500 and an inspection fee in the amount of $1,000. It was put up in front of the planning board. It was voted unanimously to move this along, so they are just asking us to accept those two bonds tonight.
Right. Somebody else want to do that one?
I make a motion to adopt a resolution accepting erosion control surety bond. Whereas the planning board, by resolution dated June 26, 2025, has recommended that the town board accept an erosion control bond in the amount of $19,500 and an escrow for inspection fees in the amount of $1,000 from the owner of the property located at Kent Lakes Drive, Carmel, New York, 10512, identified as tax map number 11.7-1-7, and whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendation as set forth in planning board resolution. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts that recommendation of the planning board and accepts the erosion control bond and inspection fee escrow as further detailed above. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Last item is EMS. They are asking us to hire a part-time EMT, Randall Hill, at a rate of $22 per hour, effective today, pending a clear background check and drug screening.
He's
I
a
think
deputy, he's a deputy sheriff.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
All right.
We're still checking.
So make sure.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the hiring of EMT for the town of Kent. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the position of part-time emergency medical technician, and whereas per the email dated June 30th, 2025, from David Rains, Chief of the Town of Kent EMS, Mr. Rains is recommending Randall Hill as a part-time EMT. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Randall Hill as part-time EMT pending completion of all background checks and civil service requirements at a rate of $22 per hour. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chris, you're up.
That's it? Vouchers? No add-ons tonight?
No add-ons tonight.
All right. The following vouchers for July 1st, 2025 are over the threshold. Brown & Brown Insurance Incorporated, $102,476 for Town of Kent renewal policies for 25 through 26. Card member services, $6,582.82 for Town of Kent credit card. City Carding and Recycling, Winways, $10,451.06 for Lake Carmel Park District garbage from June 9th through June 13th, 2025. City Carding and Recycling, Winways, $9,360.21 for Lake Carmel Park District garbage. June 16th through June 20th, 25. Cornell Cooperative Extension, $5,846, and I'm guessing it's either 10 cents or 1 cent. It's only 0.1 there, so it's one of those. For ARPA Food Security Program from December 1st through the 31st of 2024. Cornell Cooperative Extension, $11,493.92 for ARPA Food Security Program from May 1st through the May 31st of 2025. DB Spectra Inc., $7,802.18 for Kent Police Department ARPA Hybrid Control Station. Employee Services LLC, $3,250 EAP services from June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. HO Penn Machinery Corporation Inc., $8,972 for highway equipment and Caterpillar bucket. Managed Technologies, $4,869.24 for IT support week of May 19th through May 23rd, 2025, and Ryan's Field Building. Managed Technologies, $4,931.10 for IT support week of June 16th through the 24th, 2025, and Ryan's Field CCTV. Millennium Strategies LLC, $3,500 for the June 2025 contract. NICEAG, $2,136.91 for 40 Sybil's Crossing Kent Police Department, May 21st through June 18th, 2025. Professional Ambulance Billing, $2,971.39 for Kent EMS Billing Services for May 1st through the May 31st for 2025. Office of State Comptroller, $29,520 for the Justice Court Fund for May 2025. Ring Squared, $3,909.48 for the Town of Kent phones from June 1st through June 30th of 2025. Laura Roberts, $3,798 for the Town of Kent Town Prosecutor from May 1st through the 29th of 2025. Tesco Technologies, Inc., $4,164.39 for the Kent Police Department ARPA radio project. I ask the board to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right,
Yeah,
got some water?
I have a cough drop. Okay, try to get through this. If not, someone's gonna have to take over. This Saturday on July 5th, from 10 to 12, we'll have our Summer Olympics. There's still time to sign up on the rec website or call the office. And then at 8 p.m. on July 5th, we will hold our fireworks. It looks like it's gonna be a beautiful night, so we won't have to go to a rain date. It looks amazing. We're happy. The police department has on their Facebook page rules and regulations to follow on Saturday, so please read them. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What else? On July 19th, we have our next farmer's market, 10 to 2. Also, as just sort of for everyone to remember, when the beaches close at 7 p.m., that means that the lake is closed for swimming. So please don't go back in the water. Please listen to the lifeguards. If you're at the beach and you have a question why you can't go on the dock or something, ask one of the lifeguards. They're all very friendly, very nice, or you can ask to speak to the supervisor and he will explain it to you, but you know, there are reasons. So everyone just please respect the rules and regulations at the beaches. That's all I have.
I don't have anything.
You need a, you want some of this?
No, I have tea. I'm gonna go out and cough and die, and then I'll come back in.
Okay.
Historical Society's doing their tag sale, right? The 13th?
On the 13th, yeah.
Do you know the time, the hours?
No, not exactly. So
It's on the website though, right?
Yeah, it's on their website or their Facebook page.
it's probably around 10 o'clock. I think we start over there, something like that.
Okay, great. Library always has a lot going on, as you've heard tonight, and in
9 to
particular.
2.
Thank you. The Friends of the Kent Library are doing their book sale on Saturday, the 12th, from 10 to 2. And that same day, there's a workshop for adults and seniors on drawing flowers and living plants. That's at 11 at the library. There's also a book club for adults and seniors on Tuesday, the 15th at 5, and they're reading Crow Mary. And last meeting, I had mentioned the Chalk the Walk competition, and it is actually July 16th, as we thought, and that's for kids at the library. And there's a lot of other good stuff going on, including, I think, is it weekly or monthly talks with somebody from the FDR Library. Last Wednesday of the month on Zoom, 6 p.m., to delve into the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. So lots of great stuff happening at the library.
Yep. So, yeah, for the fireworks this year, we raised a record amount of money for the fireworks, so it should be a fabulous display. Please come out on Saturdays. We're supposed to have good weather. Arts on the Lake is going to be the place to be on there, and I will read a list of everybody who donated at the next meeting, because the businesses here and the people in the town of Kent were super generous this year for the fireworks. It was really good to see.
And there's a concert right beforehand, right? At Arts on the Lake?
I think I know a guy who may know something about that. Did you want to? You gotta. Yeah. Nobody hand him the remote. He just wants to.
Well, I came here to Henry Boyd. Tonight I'm representing Arts on the Lake. And normally I come to Grumpet the town, and there's one of the board members that thinks I'm a grumpy old man, but I don't know which one it was, I can't remember. But anyway, putting that aside tonight, I came to thank the town. We just put a new lawn in at Arts on the Lake. It looks really slick. And we started looking at the trees, and there's a lot of branches are called widowmakers. So the town came over and looked them over and said, okay, a couple of days we'll come and take care of them. The next morning, we went back. This would be a week ago, Saturday morning. The tree that wasn't looked at to be trimmed, 30-inch tree, just fell over. It's probably a 60, 70-foot tree. And of course, it's your property, but it missed everything except my sign. It just crushed my sign, but that's okay. We'll get another one. But so the Parks Department came over, cut this tree up, never stomped on my grass. They were very careful with it was right in the middle of our garden, flower garden. We got a few plants out, and they did a great job. A great job. They cut it all up. I mean, this tree was huge. They cut it all up in one day. The next day they did some cleanup. And the next day we started looking at that tree that was kind of fallen down. And the highway department showed up with their boom truck. And they cut the tree down. We left it so they could all these artistic people can maybe make a totem pole out of what's left on the tree. I don't know how artsy they really are. But anyway, they do a great job. So it's all prepped for, so anyway, I really praise your department coming in there, the Parks Department and the Highway Department. Great job. And they left everything so that at 7 o'clock this Saturday, we start with a concert, which is going to last till about 9 when it's dark. And then everybody's going to be able to turn around their chairs and watch the fireworks. Now, everybody's going to be on the green grass. You should get there by at least 6:30, so there's parking. But if you get there early, by that time, none of the other people are showing up to watch the fireworks until 9 o'clock. So you got great parking, great places so you can pull back out again and go home. And so at 6:30, bring your lunch, bring a beverage, and bring your chair.
and you'll have, a great time, because I know you got great fireworks. Sean promised me he's going to set the first firework off himself, or his brother anyway. And so at 9 o'clock-ish, we'll all sit there and watch your fireworks, but please come to the thing. I believe this year is the first year they've had a $10 admission to get in, because they're paying for a lot of stuff that happened there this year. They lost a lot of sponsors, and the rest of there's a total of 4 concerts going on for this Saturday, the 5th, and the next 4 Fridays. That's going to be free, as far as I know. But please come, and please make a donation to Arts on the Lake, because they're one of our great community centers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Henry, I got to tell you, I was driving down 52 prior to your tree falling, and I looked down and I said, wow, they got some beautiful grass down there, and there was a sprinkler going on it. And the next day I drove by and I saw this big tree laying down there. I said, boy, they over-sprinkled that. They loosened up all the roots. I saw it. It was huge.
There's just a few roots came up and just rotted off right at
Yep.
the spread. But thank God this is your building.
Any other public comment?
Sue Kotzer, Tanakent. I wanted to talk about a story in the paper about the IDA, the Internet Industrial Development Agency. Part of the article states, in the industrial category, a project that bears watching is at 54 Bowen Road in Carmel. It includes some frontage on Route 52 and extends partly into the town of Kent. It's right by Interstate 84, so they're marketing it as an industrial development opportunity, said Abels, that's Kathleen Abels, who is the president of the IDA. So I read this, and I had a couple of recyclers come in and ask me what was going on. I told them I had no idea. It prompted me to watch the meeting of that day, which was May 15th. This paper is June 4th, I think. And so then I went to an IDA meeting. There was no mention of this said piece of property. So also there were 2 gentlemen up at the recycling center parking lot who walked into the property. And so that prompted me to FOIL for the agreement, and I saw that it was signed. I had no knowledge that the agreement was ever signed. I've asked, and I was told that it was not signed. So I had a FOIL for it. I thought I would be kept abreast of the situation, but I'm just making a comment that I would like to be informed of things going on at the Kent Recycling Center, so long as I am chairperson. And who's ever chairperson after myself, hopefully they will be informed. Thank you.
She's talking about the easement agreement with Sunbury.
I think there's 2 different things she was talking about there.
Yeah, but the agreement that she foiled was for the Sunbury.
Which got signed way, way after we authorized the signature of it.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't know.
I have Bowen Road right here, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what the first IDA property you're talking about. What piece of property would be partially, I'm guessing, in Patterson coming into Kent?
Would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, but it says partially into Kent. I don't understand that. It's definitely which piece of property? Oh, that's completely 100% in Kent. That's all in Kent. All right, well.
Because of the zip code, we are considered Carmel. So Carmel is
Could it be further down Bowen Road towards Ludingtonville?
Like for Morrow Construction?
I'm not sure. And it was very confusing what you read there, so I don't know.
That's the address?
54 Bowen.
Well, this piece of property does have a little tiny strip that goes over to Bowen Road. So, yeah, I guess it could be.
But it's entirely in Kent,
Okay.
not
And I
partial.
haven't heard of any talk about it whatsoever,
No.
not a word.
I haven't heard anything either.
And I don't know who would have walked into Kent Recycling. If they're not members, they're not supposed to be there, right?
Well, there was a while ago, Ann, right, I called you that there was an insurance person walking up there.
You had mentioned that, yeah.
Yes. That there was an insurance adjuster that walked up there.
He did come up, but I spoke to him.
Yes.
He was just inspecting buildings.
Right, no, I know that, but
Other individuals,
I did get a phone call from someone that was looking at all of our water, the streams and stuff. They were working with East of Hudson, and
Yeah.
they did ask they wanted to look at the stream up there because they were looking for phosphorus. They're just looking at potential projects. So that also could have been who they were. Because they asked me if it was okay if they went up there and looked, and I said, that's fine. But they were not interested in the property. They were interested in the stream up there. I guess there's some wetlands, and they wanted to see about the phosphorus.
I think we can go. I think it's not raining right now. We don't have to extend this any longer.
I'm still trying to find it on the county e-parcel, by the way. I can stick around and do that if you want.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.